What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Welcome to a brand new video. Now today's video is really going to be exciting. Now you've all been asking for it and it's finally here. You joined me today inside the Mark 8 Golf GTI. Yep, it's finally happening. Big thanks to the guys from Tens Automotive. They specialize in car maintenance, car repairs. They also do body work. So please do check them out on Instagram because they're the ones who hooked me up with this car for a review. I've been looking for it for a while and finally it's happening. Now I really do hope you enjoy this video. Let's get into it. The weather has really favored us today because it just looks so glorious out here. A little bit overcast, but it's just perfect conditions for doing a video. Now, the Mark 8 GTI is here. So a little bit of a historical backstory. So back in 1975, I believe, September to be more specific, at the Frankfurt Motor Show, the Golf GTI finally debuted. When I say finally, it was new at the time and all. But that was when it dawned to life and it set some new standards and a new category in the car industry, believed to be the first ever hot hatch. So many decades later, now we have the Mark 8 generation. So the big question is, does it actually live up to the GTI name? The answer is both yes and no, and you guys will find out why later. So starting with the looks, as we always do. Now this has been vastly improved in the sense that it looks quite different from the Mark 7, but the overall silhouette is still the same shape, that same familiar boxy shape we love with the Golf and all. So the big thing with the front is, the front is immediately different to begin with. There are a lot of changes. To start with, you have this eyebrow that kind of wraps around the entire front, all the way to the front fender up to here. You have new looking headlights with daytime running lights as always, and the iconic red bar that runs across the entire grille and inside the headlight unit that we always see on all GTIs, even the Polo GTIs. You have new fog lights down here and they look absolutely amazing. We have them on here and all. And by the way, the Mark 8 introduced this light bar. As you can see underneath the red line, you have this daytime running light bar, I guess I'll call it, and it looks really nice. So you have kind of a newish VW badge right here, as you can see. The whole I don't know if I should say font, but the design of the badge looks different. And coming round to the side, it doesn't look all that different apart from the light unit. As you can tell, you can see the light unit both front and back from the side profile and all. You have a choice of new wheels, I think starting from 18 inches all the way to 19 inches. I think these are the upgraded rims. These might be the 19s. Just want to confirm. uh yeah, these are the 19-inch. They have kind of this blade turbo fan design and all, and they just look amazing. So coming around to the back is also quite different. You have these new IQ light, I guess VW, that's what they call them. It's this new smart light design, and all you see them on all new VW models. They kind of giving me OLED vibes. Not sure if they are OLED, but if they are not, they'll definitely be LED lights. So the badging has been repositioned. The GTI, or the model designation, is now in the center, like we've seen with most new VWs now. And yeah, it looks really cool. As you can tell, this one has an aftermarket spoiler already, which looks cool. It's kind of that Oitinger design, which is common on most Golf GTIs and Rs and Audi S3s and all. And we have the big twin, well, not necessarily twin, but the big split tailpipes, one on either side on the GTIs. And obviously this one has, or of course this one has a rear diffuser. So let's jump inside to check out the interior. Okay, just gonna turn off the ignition to stop the chime. So the interior, please switch off the lights. Okay, thank you, car. The interior, like the exterior, still has that Mark 7 DNA, but it has so many little details that have been changed, which end up making a big difference. To start with, the gear lever, the big gear lever, is gone. Now you have this kind of toggle switch, or I'll call it a toggle selector, and you have this engine start stop button which pulsates. Can you guys see that? Kind of, yeah. So it pulsates when you enter the car. So they've done away with physical buttons for the climate control, for the mode selector, and the controls on the steering wheel. And new, you have these touch sensitive controls, I guess I'll call them. They are not that user friendly when you're driving in a way, but they do work. And I don't know where I stand, because buttons can look a bit old school, and this looks new and futuristic. But another problem you might have with this is that since it's all gloss black, over time when these get used and they're doing high mileage, they'll be having a lot of scratches and all, and I'm not sure that will end up looking pretty. But overall, because they've done away with the knobs and the buttons for the climate controls and the gear lever, the interior looks a bit more clean, it looks a bit more minimalistic, and it gives you this sense of being more spacious in a way. There's a new design to the dash, it's layered and all. You have this honeycomb pattern. Can you guys see that? So there's this honeycomb pattern, and the infotainment screen has been moved from somewhere down here to the top-ish in a way. And I guess I'll start it a bit to have the system running and all. As you can see, so the way they've laid out the infotainment screen and the driver cluster, it gives me the vibe that you get from Mercedes with their dual screen setup, and they're kind of connected in a way, that kind of setup. This one has the, what do I call it, the standard infotainment screen. Otherwise you wouldn't have these knobs, these two knobs, one for the volume and the other for selecting and scrolling through menus. Otherwise it would just be one big screen, and everything is controlled either through the screen or these touch sensitive buttons right here. But I actually prefer this knob, because when you opt for the bigger screen, you have a slidey kind of feature for the volume, and it's not that intuitive when you're driving and all. It's much easier to do this than slide your finger and all. So you can control your climate controls via the screen. So you just click there, and it all pops up, as you can see right there. You can change the airflow, the direction of the air and all. You can go to, so this is the home button. So it's kind of like your tablet or your smartphone, where you have a little home button and all. You can go to media, and listen to your radio, your connectivity, and all. You can also connect to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you have this little red touch around the steering wheel, which I find really cool. Overall, the interior is really nice. And one thing, oh, we haven't spoken about the seats. So the seats are this three-tone color. You have this kind of whitish, silverish part, the red on the sides and on the stitching, and the main unit itself is in black. Not really sure if I'm a fan of this. It's not a big deal. It looks good, don't get me wrong. But I feel like if it was all black but the red touches, it would look much cooler, because remember, red is a thing with GTIs. Also, don't you guys think it's now time they introduced red seat belts for the GTI? I mean, wouldn't that be cool? Because you have red touches everywhere. I mean, on the grill, on the stitching, and on the steering wheel. So I feel like it would be really nice if it had red seat belts and all. But now let's get into the performance stats. Let's go back right outside. Oh, by the way, they've introduced electric seats on the Mark 8. Finally, it's a little bit more premium and all. So underneath the hood, we have just need to find the catch. Okay, now here we have a problem already. With the Mark 7, I would just open the bonnet and it wouldn't be a problem. Now I have to hold it up because they've done away with the gas strut. So now, because I have a camera in one hand and the other hand is holding up the bonnet itself, I'm having to hold it up like this while talking to you guys. I actually have no idea why they've done away with the gas strut, because they've went back to old school. It has this manual holder thingy, I guess I'll call it. I actually don't understand why they've opted to go that direction. I mean, it's kind of like it's actually moving backwards. Also, as you can see, the engine cover isn't interesting at all. It's just this plastic thing. There's no VW badging, there's no TSI badging or even GTI badging. And the Mark 7 and the Mark 7.5 had a little VW and a TSI badging, which makes it a little bit more special. So I have no idea why they've opted to do that. But anyways, so underneath here we have the all familiar EA 888, which is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder motor, but this time around power and torque have went up. So in the Mark 7.5 GTI you have 169 kilowatts and 350 newton meters of torque. In here we now have 180 kilowatts and 370 newton meters of torque. Oh, by the way, that's around 240 horsepower, whereas in the 7.5 it's around 230 horsepower. So like all GTIs, it's front wheel drive, mated to a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, and you have that lovely front diff that is very clever. It reduces a lot of understeer and all. Okay, I'm actually now tired. I'm just gonna close this off, just being careful that I don't slam it. Okay, success. So 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about, I think, 6.3 seconds thereabout. Top speed is limited to 250 thereabout. So yeah, I guess that's it with the Mark 8. I think we should jump into the driving bit. Okay, so guys, you joined me inside the Mark 8 GTI. So we're just gonna go for a quick drive and experience what this one is all about. Like all Golfs, as usual, it's very relaxing to be inside and drive. So it's no biggie. Like, it does the daily driving stuff really well. And yeah, that's what I've experienced so far. And also, one other thing is the car has gotten actually a lot more heavier than the 7.5 GTI. So it's about 160 kilograms heavier, which might change the driving dynamics and all. So I still have to familiarize myself with the whole settings and all, but I think to put it in sport, you still toggle through the little selector once. You push it back once, and that puts it in sport mode. And we'll just experience one acceleration. Yeah, so that wasn't a big acceleration, but so far the car feels really stable, I should say. The suspension setup is a little bit on the firm side, especially when you hit bumps, but that's what you expect with a sporty car. So one pull here, feels really strong, feels really strong. I just need to find a nice empty stretch so that I can experience the car nicely. The exhaust isn't all that audible, but I haven't really pushed it that much. I have a chance now. Okay, I don't know how it sounds from the outside, but from the inside it's a little bit silent, which is a pity. It probably has the OPF filters and all. I'm not really sure. But it feels really strong. It pulls really strong. I guess that's that really. The car isn't all that different compared to, like, in terms of how it drives compared to the previous generation. But yeah, the interior and the styling and all has been changed a lot. But yeah, I guess it's all up to what you prefer. If you want the latest tech and the new stuff, I guess you should definitely go for the Mark 8. And also, if price is a thing, because you know these are relatively expensive, especially on the used market, then I guess you're not really losing out on much if you have the 7 or the 7.5. I don't know. I'll just try one pull here and see. Yeah, it's not that loud. It's just okay. It's just okay. But I have a feeling if you have it on a nice twisty road, then you can really enjoy exploiting the car, so as to say. But yeah, the big question. So would I actually buy it? The answer is it's a tricky one. But my problem with it is it all goes down to the price, and this is not one of those cliche complaints that new cars are getting more expensive and all. My problem is, for the same price as this, you can get a nice fully spec'd Mark 7.5R with like their Kropovich exhaust and all, and I'm not really sure this car is better than that one. But otherwise, in terms of tech and the styling, obviously it's better. It has the latest tech and all those things. You have your lane keep assists, your blind spot monitoring, but all of that is optional. They are all optional extras, so you have to pay more to have all of those things. But otherwise, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's cheers from me.